Fishing Team. You can find us on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. We're the official anglers of Armstrong, Antlers and Anglers, Seven Rivers Marine, Ohio River Outdoors. If you have any questions about fishing, we're back there with the F-20 Falcon. Feel free to come back there and talk to us, ask questions about boats, baits, fishing, whatever. We're here for you guys. So what I'm going to start off with, one of my favorite techniques, and one of the most universal techniques out there for bass fishing, is a spinnerbait. So when it comes to spinnerbait fishing or any kind of fishing, first thing you don't have to worry about is your rod selection. So when it comes to selecting a rod for a spinnerbait, as you can tell, spinnerbaits are a little bit heavier. You're going to be power fishing with them. You're going to be moving fast. You're going to be fishing around sparse cover, logs, brush, rocks. You're going to want a heavier action rod. So 7 foot to 7'2", medium heavy rod with typically a medium action tip. Some people go with a fast action tip. Personally, I don't like a fast action tip for a spinnerbait. I think it gives it too much give whenever you go to set the hook. Whenever I set the hook with a spinnerbait, I really want to make sure I mean it. Whenever it comes to your reel selection, I go with a slower reel for a spinnerbait. You're wanting to move to that water column kind of slow. Give those fish a chance to see it, kind of like a shad or some kind of bait fish. So I go with a 6'8" to 1, 6'6" to 1 is the gear ratio I go to. It's always a bait caster. Fluorocarbon line. If you're looking to save a little bit of money, cigar red label, you can buy it for $12 a spool at Walmart. You can also buy it at Ohio River Outdoors if you guys are ever around the Parkersburg area. But 16 to 20 pound test fluorocarbon. Whenever it comes to trying to catch the fish, obviously you're looking for brush, you're looking parallel banks, you're looking for rock bluffs. When it comes to your retrieve, it's real simple. Spinnerbaits are one of the easiest ways to fish, one of the funnest ways to try to catch fish. I will say yesterday these fish had no desire to look at this thing, so just because it's out there doesn't mean they're guaranteed to bite it. I'll give it a try here. I seriously doubt the fish are going to look at it any today, but whenever you're out there with a spinnerbait, all you're going to do is you're going to throw it out there to your cover, give it a second to sink. You're going to start your retrieve, like I said, slow retrieve, throw a little pop, and then every now and then, that's what bass, especially when you're power fishing, they bite based off of reaction, not so much because they're hungry. Bass only have very limited feeding periods throughout the day, so most of the bites that you get, especially in competitive bass fishing, come from reaction bites. So you're trying to get, bass are very territorial, so whenever they see those pops and those pauses, it frustrates them, so they're more likely to bite out of a reaction, a defense mechanism, and you have a very brief second to set the hook. So whenever you're power fishing, spinnerbaits, buzzbaits, crankbaits, jerkbaits, anything like that, give it sporadic pops, motions, pauses, make those bass react to it, make them angry. We'll give the spinnerbait a couple more tries out here. So when it comes to size and color selection, what I have tied on right now is a Bass Pro. It's one of the cheaper ones, XPS, 2 little leaf blades. It's a 3/8 ounce spinnerbait. Whenever I spinnerbait fish, if I'm fishing somewhere where there's smaller forage, smaller bait fish, like the Ohio River, I'll go down to a 1/4 ounce with a smaller trailer. If I'm fishing for smallmouth, I go to my chartreuse colors, my whites and chartreuses. If I'm fishing for largemouth, I go to my more natural shad colors. If it's early in the year, like post-spawn, I go with a dark red color because your crayfish are molting, so they're a dark red color. Later in the year, I say, like I said, natural shad colors. When it comes to blade selection, dirty water, Colorado blades, they make a nice loud thumping action, which gets you that reaction bite because fish can't see it, but they can hear it coming through the water, so they know there's something there. Whenever it's clear days, clear water conditions, I go with willow leaf blades. If I'm fishing somewhere with more current, I use 3/8 ounce. Like I said, the Ohio River plays some smaller forage. I go to a 1/4 ounce. But don't be scared to go this 1/2 ounce to 3/4 ounce. Don't be scared to try bigger baits. When it comes to trailer selection, really any kind of paddle tail swim bait will work great. A trade secret that a lot of people don't know though. So your spinnerbait, as you've seen earlier, comes through the water with the blades up, right? It doesn't really come like you would think with the blades down. So it comes with the blades up. Whenever you put your trailer on, make sure you have the paddle facing downward and you get more of a kicking action out of there. You'll get way more bites that way. So I'll give it one more cast out. We'll give these fish one last chance to try this. While I'm doing this, does anybody have any questions about spinnerbait fishing? If you don't want to ask it publicly, that's fine. Feel free to come back here to the boat. Does anybody have any questions on anything I've talked about so far? Okay. So the fish didn't want it. Now we're going to talk about the most universal bait in your tackle box that every fisherman should have, no matter what you fish for, and that's jig. So when it comes to jigs, you can go anywhere from quarter ounce. You can go lighter than a quarter ounce. You can go 16th ounce jig heads for tubes or stuff like that. But when it comes to jig fishing, I stick around quarter ounce. Black and blue is my most common color. I don't mess around with any other colors. When it comes to the summertime, though, I will mess around with browns a little bit. The best trailers you can use for a jig. So when you're using a jig, you always want to use a trailer, or else those fish don't have anything to hang on to. For my trailers, they're back out in the market now. Uncle Josh's number 11 pork rinds. It's real pork that goes in the back of this, and it gives it a nice kicking action. I promise you, people don't talk about this anymore, but if you want to catch bass, there's Uncle Josh number 11 pork rinds available at Ohio River Outdoors. Will work for you. So when it comes to what kind of rod I want to use, it depends on what the application is. If I'm flipping a jig, like a heavier jig, or I'm flipping sparse cover, I'm trying to isolate areas, I'll go with a 7'4" to a 7'6" heavy rod. That way, a heavier line, heavier jig, just trying to get the reaction bites and heavier cover. If I'm swimming a jig, like what I have set up here, this is just a medium heavy 7-foot rod. I stick, whenever I'm swimming jigs, around 18 to 20 pound test. Everything I use for it is fluorocarbon for jig fishing. This here is just a 3/8 ounce bitsy flip minnow. Blue Rock, right? Is that the name of the company? Blue Rock Baits. Buddy was showing us some baits that Blue Rock has, also available at Ohio River Outdoors. They make jigs just like these bitsy flips, and when we were looking into them, I'll tell you they look like a lot better quality. So when it comes to fishing a jig, you can flip it, you can swim it. Then we're going to just try to let it hit bottom, flip it. This is also a great search bait to throw what's on bottom. So we'll just flip our jig out there. These fish might actually bite this one. It's more of a finesse tactic. So let it hit bottom, give them a second to look at it. As soon as you feel it hit bottom, though, bass are a reactionary creature. As soon as you feel it hit bottom, jerk it. Try to get a reaction bite out of it. And then after that, just pop it. You can swim it, do a few pops, let it fall again. With a jig, you can do anything. You can go straight from this to flipping it. You can swim it. Anybody have any questions on jig flipping? It's really not a whole lot to go into other than I still stick with a 7 1-to-1 gear ratio. Like I said, my fluorocarbon stays around the 18 to 20 pound test. Medium, retrieve. You really do whatever you want to with it as far as retrieve goes. If nobody has any questions, that will conclude this seminar from the Getting Bit Fishing team. I appreciate everybody watching. Again, thank everybody.